聞かせ方をちょっと変えるとかした方が。
What is your impression on DIR and Grey as a band? I mean, now that you've worked on a couple of their releases.
Working on DIR and Grey the first time, I didn't know the band before I was contacted and asked to work on the mix, and it was very much an eye-opener and a very different approach, music-wise and recording-wise, and everything was really different, and which is something that appeals to me right away. If something is not your basic bass drum, 2 guitars, screaming vocals in the middle, if something is a little off center from that or a lot off center, then it has my attention right away because it's just interesting. And DIR and Grey is definitely an interesting band.
他のそのギターとかがどれぐらい重なってくるかでできてる。
A very experimental band that is not afraid to take chances in any way. That's what they seem like to me. To me, it seems like everything is legal. Everything is possible.
Yes. 今聞いたセクションのどうですか？いや違う。エンディング。あ、そうです。
Maybe they will laugh when I say this because they always argue about keeping it down to a minimum. I don't know, but to me it seems like they're the kind of band where everything is possible and everything should be explored, and you should try everything before throwing it out. You should at least try it, and that's an approach that I really appreciate in music. You're not afraid to do things. You shouldn't do things just to do it, just to be, oh, look at me, I'm so special. But it shouldn't be like that. But to me, it sounds like when DIR and Grey does it, it's with integrity. It's like there's an idea behind everything that goes on. And if you let your ideas make the way for everything else, then there's always going to be, you know, integrity and that and emotion, and that's what's important to me.
一番最初にやったやつとか聞かせてもらっていい？
はい。
一番最初の。
The complicated about working with Dion Gray is, of course, the amount of tracks and the amount of different ingredients in a song, which is a lot of hard work to get an overview of a song. But at the same time, it's also sort of easy. Once I get the overview and I see the big picture of a song, all those little ingredients also make it easy because they are there for a reason.
Has that influenced you or the way you work in any way after working with them for a while?
Yes. I think everything I do which is new to me will influence me, and I will use it influences me. Like when you hear music with all these different textures and they call for a different approach or different types, it's all about compression, EQ, and reverb, really, but there's so many different ways of using it that can inspire me to add different textures to other bands. Sometimes they'll get scared when they hear of these crazy ideas, and then we'll have to argue. And if I win the argument, it ends up on the record. But it definitely influences me, like with DIR Gray, and with when I do something that I think this is just right for this part, and then I get a message back from the band where, well, we don't like this sound so much. Can you change it to something else? Or usually it's much more polite the way they ask for things, but I can, I can read between the lines. There are some ways they go about recording certain instruments to make it sound like these. Sometimes it's just acoustic guitar, but or something like it, but it sounds like weird instruments I never met in real life. Probably Japanese or Eastern instruments that I'm not familiar with. And when I look at the track or listen solo, I can hear, this is just an acoustic guitar, but the way it's been recorded and the way it's been treated makes it sound not like a typical acoustic guitar or something. And of course, that's an inspiration that, go about it a little differently than what you usually would, and you can actually make this simple acoustic guitar sound like something that people would never think was an acoustic guitar, and stuff like that. And there's a lot of things like that in DIR Gray's productions, where things are recorded in really strange ways. For me, when I'm recording bands, I'm more like turn on the tape machine and go, or the computer, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, play music. And for DIR Gray, that's probably also the way it is with some things, but there's a lot of things that they're put a lot of thought into perfecting a certain part so that it sounds just like what someone had in mind. And that's That's a different approach that I will sometimes bring into other productions afterward.
Any last messages or anything, since I can pass this over to the band? You've never met them. Hopefully one day they will come to Copenhagen.
I'm very sorry I couldn't make it to that show at Bakken, but I was working in Spain, I think, at the time. I was working somewhere else, and I couldn't make it work to can't just leave the band alone for 4 days in the studio. Doesn't work like that. But I'm still looking very much forward to seeing the band and hopefully seeing them in Japan one time. I've never been to Japan. All the bands I work with go to Japan to tour and they always forget to bring me. It sucks. Yeah, but say hello to the guys in the band. I'm really honored to work with them actually. It's because it's not your ordinary band. It's something special, and I feel proud to be part of it.